Welcome to my channel Learnovate. In this video, we are going to start a series of a digestive system. The physiological function of the GIT tract we will going to discuss in these videos. In this video, we will especially going to discuss about the physiological functions of the esophagus and about the introduction in the esophagus role in the GIT tract and the introduction of the various organs present in the GIT tract. So here you can see this is shown a GIT tract, that is we also call as the alimentary tract. The alimentary tract that starts from the oral cavity, the mouth that enters having the glands, the parotid and salivary glands, also sublingual glands are also present. The mouth is connected with the stomach and the other part of alimentary tract with the esophagus. Then comes the stomach. The esophagus ends in the stomach and the stomach is attached with the duodenal wall, and with the duodenum there is a continuation of the small intestine that having the three parts, the jejunum, ileum and the jejunum and the ileum, that are the important parts of the small intestine including the duodenum. Posterior to the stomach and the small intestine, you can see this is shown the pancreas. The pancreas having a very important physiological function in the digestion that we will going to discuss in a separate video. Then here you can see the placement of the liver above the stomach, and there is presence of a gallbladder below the liver. This small intestine will going to continue with the large intestine, that having again the three parts, the ascending colon, the transverse colon and the descending colon, with the rectum and the anal canal, that is the last part of the alimentary tract. So here you can see this is the whole pathway of the alimentary tract, and the food that enters through the mouth will going to pass, and there is a physiological function and secretion of all the organs of the GIT tract that we have discussed, and then there will be excretion of food through the anus. So we will going to discuss one by one every organ and its physiological function. We will not going to discuss the anatomy. We will going to discuss the physiological role of each and every organ in the GIT tract. So starting from the esophagus. Now you can see the location of the esophagus that is present between the oral cavity and the stomach, and it is a long narrow tube. Now guys, here you can see I have prepared notes for you guys to better explain. In this part of the video, we are going to discuss about the esophagus, physiological functions of esophagus. The esophagus anatomy, we have discussed that it is a muscular tube that is present between the stomach and the oral cavity. The esophagus is consisting of four coats of the mucosa, the submucosa, the Muscularis Externa and the adventitia, that are the four histological layers that we can see in the alimentary canal wall that we have discussed in a separate video. So these four layers form the esophagus, that is a muscular long tube. Now coming to the physiological functions of esophagus in the digestion. The first important function is the transport of the bolus, that is a food bolus is going to pass from the esophagus from the oral cavity towards the stomach, has to pass from the esophagus. The other important role of esophagus is that the esophagus having the upper and the lower esophageal sphincter, that is the thickening of the circular muscle at the upper and the lower part of the esophagus, where it connect with the stomach and where it connect with the oral cavity. So the upper esophageal sphincter will going to open when the food is present in the oral cavity, and the lower esophageal sphincter will going to close when the food is in the stomach to prevent any emptying of the food into the duodenum without any stimulus. If there is a stimulus, there will be opening of a lower esophageal sphincter, and there will be ultimately the emptying of the food from the stomach into the duodenum. That is an important role of the stomach that we will going to discuss in a series of that videos. Now coming to the third function of the esophagus in the physiological GIT tract is the submucosal layer of the esophagus, that is in histological structure forming the esophagus will going to secrete the mucus. So the special tubulo-acinar glands present in the submucosal layer of esophagus will going to secrete the mucus. And the important function of mucus we all know is the lubrication. That is to prevent the damage of the GIT tract wall from the any food bolus or any hard material or acidic secretion. So the mucus is always secreted from mostly all the organs of the GIT tract. Here the mucus is also secreted to prevent the damage and for the lubrication. The other important role of the esophagus is the passage to the food. That is the most important role. This tube, that is a muscular tube, will going to give passage to the food by the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the muscularis externa. The muscularis externa of the esophagus is specialized and it is formed from the two parts of the muscle. That is, it contains the smooth muscle and also it contains the skeletal muscle. So the both smooth and skeletal muscle will going to form the muscularis externa, that will cause the rhythmic contraction and relaxation to cause the passage of food or bolus of the food from the oral cavity to the stomach. So the passage of food is a very important function of the esophagus. So here you can see that the most important role of esophagus is the transport of food from the oral cavity to the stomach or providing the passage surface area for the food to pass. There is no any acidic secretion, no any alkaline secretion produced by the esophagus. So this was about the physiological importance of the esophagus. In the next part of video, we are going to discuss the separate and the other organs of the GI tract and its physiological role in the digestion. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Don't forget to get feedback on our Facebook.